Before there was Mario, there was Jumpman. And when there was Jumpman, there was Donkey Kong. Eventually, Jumpman got his own gig in the 80s with the Super Mario Bros. Trilogy for the NES. Then, in the days of the Super NES, not only did the famous plumber continue his legacy, but we also saw the return of good old Donkey Kong and his trilogy of the Donkey Kong Country games. Coming from someone who has played these games themselves, I can say that they were truly a blast. When Nintendo had their press conference at E3 2010, they decided to surprise us with a little game called Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii. It basically brought back the Donkey Kong Country series, and it was created by Retro Studios, the people that brought us the famous Metroid Prime trilogy. Now, Retro Studios has brought us a new successor to the Wii U, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I just wish they would come out with the sequel to Donkey Kong 64. Rare, we'll miss you. Donkey Kong is having a birthday with his friends Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and his father Cranky Kong. Suddenly, power-hungry Vikings decide to take Donkey Kong Island for themselves, thus ruining his birthday. Which you should never do unless you want to be beaten to death like a drum. Now it's up to him and his 3 pals to take back their land by going through 6 different islands. What Tropical Freeze features is the 2D platforming fans know and love, along with some fresh elements that make this game stand out amongst its predecessors. It is common to find hidden areas that contain collectibles such as puzzle pieces or Kong letters. Collect all of them to fully complete the stage. The amount of items in one level will give players a reason to come back and replay them, because it is hard to collect all the items throughout the first run. Believe me. There are also gold banana coins to be found and redeemed in Funky Kong's shop, where you can buy an assortment of power-ups that will help you throughout your journey. You can even buy character barrels, which brings me to the next new component. In the previous title, you only got to play with Diddy Kong, who would assist our protagonist with his barrel jetpack. Now with the addition of Dixie and Cranky Kong, you can gain a slight hover which is good for reaching high places, or you could use Cranky Kong's cane to bounce on dangerous terrain and gain some height. One of the complaints I've been having with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the life system. There are an insane amount of red balloons you can collect throughout the levels, or even at Funky Kong's shop. Some players might think that having a life system is completely irrelevant, while others might find it a necessity. Because no matter how good you are at platformers or video games in general, I guarantee you this game is gonna kick your ass. Seriously, if this game has a legacy, it is known for being notoriously hard, like Donkey Kong Country Returns was. Granted, they did improve upon some of the difficulty aspects, like these rocket levels, which made me want to punch small kittens. Not only that, but the boss battles are practically unforgiving. When you die, you are sent back to the beginning of the boss level only to start the whole thing over again. However, the feeling of unleashing those crippling blows to that enemy that killed you 10 times in a row is a reward in itself. With all this talk about stressful difficulty, I think it's time we take a look at the wonderful design. The levels are crafted to be as creative and hard as possible, but what really sticks out to me most of the time are the backdrops accompanied by the music of David Wise, one of the original composers of the original Donkey Kong Country. The talent he brings to this game is truly astounding, and it goes to show that he still has it in him after almost 2 decades. I appreciate his music most with the underwater levels that were absent from Donkey Kong Country Returns. Unfortunately, with all these great models and music presented in high definition, it does make the load times longer.
Ha! I bet you wouldn't have that problem if the Wii U had more than 1 gigabyte of RAM.
PC Gamer. I thought I smelled cheap cologne.
Hey, don't hate on those Macy sales. Of course, you wouldn't know anything about sales, would you?
Yep, here we go again. Steam sales are the greatest thing ever to grace mankind, blah 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 blah. Yeah, shut up. At least consoles don't cost nearly as much as a decent gaming rig.
You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a decent gaming rig. You can build one for like $600 to $800.
You built a PC with 2 4GB graphics cards, an 8-core processor, along with 32GB of RAM, and a 4K display.
It's still less than your iMac. What'd you get with that? A free box of tampons?
What does being a woman have anything to do with owning an iMac?
Well, because, they're... Shut up! What matters most is the guy with the most power to play, which is me.
That's it! I am sick and tired of
of your juvenile elitism.
There is a difference between being an elitist and 100% correct.
There is also a difference between being 100% right and 100% an asshole.
Oh, so now we're doing the name calling. Okay, you're a dirty console peasant.
You're an insecure fanboy who thinks whoever spends the most money wins.
You sacrifice power for utter convenience, which will ultimately lead to your downfall.
You eat old computer parts for breakfast and like it.
You play COD like a noob!
What did you say?
I'm so sorry.
Damn right you're sorry. Do you realize that you have opened Pandora's box? Now, we're gonna get a ton of angry comments written in bad grammar as to why Call of Duty completely sucks.
Is there anything I can do to repay you? I hate you.
Hey, be nice. I'm letting you play on the gamepad.
What's the point? I can't see anything on this.
Huh? What? That's interesting. You see, this is one of the weird things, especially coming from a Nintendo first-party game. Nothing displays on the screen during regular play, other than off-TV play where you can play the game on the gamepad itself. One might think that it's okay for the developers to not use the gamepad screen if they couldn't find a good reason to. But the thing is, if Nintendo's going to try and separate themselves from the competition by emphasizing on how good the gamepad is, it almost completely defeats the purpose. But does this minor flaw take away from how good the game is? I wouldn't think so.
Multiplayer is decent. I say decent because I honestly haven't played much of it, and the people I did play with weren't as skilled as I was. You know, because all they're used to is a mouse and a keyboard. That being said, it improves and enhances the difficulty. How so? Well, players are not as likely to be sent back to a checkpoint and redo their progress, which will make for a less strenuous play session. But the two players will share their life balloons, and depending on how good they are determines how fast they will deplete. In conclusion, if you are looking to enjoy a game with a friend or family member that you both can suffer with as you try desperately to make it past that one part in the fastest way possible, this will be just right for you. With Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Retro Studios has proved once again that they are worthy enough to make exclusive games for Nintendo. With a substantial amount of ingenuity in the levels and the music that holds the interest of the player, along with a hindering difficulty that encourages more playtime, it is safe to say that Tropical Freeze is a must-have title for Wii U owners and Nintendo fans alike. Good job, Retro. Now, let's see some more Metroid, shall we?
So, what do you think, PC gamer? Has your opinion on console gaming changed? Do you take back everything bad you've ever said?
You know what?
And that's not even the half of it. You can also play on the PS4, the Xbox One. The Last of Us is on PS3, Xbox 360 has Halo.
I hate it even more.
Superman 64 is on this. What?
You call this a game? This is the epitome of mediocre. It's as if the mediocre developers came from the planet of mediocrity with the mediocre idea to create a mediocre game for a mediocre system.
You love using that word, don't you?
It makes me feel smart, okay?
Well, at least you tried. To each his own, as they say.
To each his own? I can't have people like you supporting this crap.
What? How did you do that?
That, my friend, is the power of the PC Master Race. Well, good luck getting that cardboard box fixed, loser. Next time, get a PC. PC gaming is the best. PC gaming is the best. PC gaming